Greeting everyone. In this tutorial we are going to create a Django website in which static files are served with Apache. I'm not an expert, so don't deal me like that. It's just a basic one. So let's just create um, our first instance. I've been working it for around a week and I found a solution, so I decided to share it with you. Here I will add another security group, that is all TCP. You can, if you have a better knowledge of security group, then you can handle it accordingly. I'm just doing it for demo purposes, so I'm not putting too much effort on this at this point. It should be all traffic actually. Then press on launch, and now we have to download our key pair. I will create a new key pair here, and I will name it tutorial, Django tutorial or Django. Let's just download it and launch the instance. Next step is go to that point where we have downloaded the key pair file. Here is our file. We have to do some modifications on it so that we can connect our EC2 instance with our local server. So I will go to the our instance. This is our new instance, which you can see that it's being initializing. Let's name it as YT tutorial TUTL. So this is just a extra step, not necessary. Then I will click on connect, and from here I will copy this path, and I have to go to CMD, and here I will paste this path. It will give me an error, but I will show you how to handle this. It says that permission denied, so I will go to my file, that is Django tutorial or Django tuts, and go to security, click on advanced, disable inheritance, and I will delete all of these files from here. Then I will click on add, select a principal, here enter my username, that is TAC, click on OK, full control, and then click on OK, and then click OK. Now if I go back to this one again and run the same command, you can see that this time and I can connect with the server. So I can do sudo yum update to update all the things. It will take a couple of minutes, so just resume the video for that point. Once we have updated the packages, we have to add some more packages. So I will provide you the file for which I am adding the packages. So let's just add them. Actually, this is the file from where I'm going to copy and paste the commands in my terminal. I will share this file. It will take some time for this, and then just wait for this to install all the packages. I'm just installing a minimum of the packages. So next we have to move to the source directory. Here we will download Python and install it. I'm using Python 3.7, and once it has been downloaded, I have to extract the file because it's a TGG file, and after the extraction I have to go to the file. You can select ls to see the names of the folder, One folder is named Python 3.7.9. I have to go to that folder, and then I have to do. Actually, I want to install it from shared from this source because I have to further install mod-wsgi that demands that Python should be installed from source. Instead, it should be a shared Python. Like I don't want to. That's why I didn't do pip install thing like that. So this step will take some more time. Now I will use sudo make to install all the file. It will take a lot of time. Meanwhile, we can uh, create our Django website. So let create a folder name as Django, and I will install it. The first step we have to create a virtual environment here. Let's create a. Instead, I would like to go to CMD and create a virtual environment. Python -mvenv venv. The last one is the name of the virtual environment. That this venv should be the name of the virtual environment. You can name it what you want. It's up to you. So it will take time, a bit of second. Then, sorry, I forget to press enter. I'm just again sorry. I have to activate Python first. Once the Python has been activated, I can simply run this command. So once this has been finished, I have to go to the virtual environment cdvenv, and then there is another folder in virtual environment scripts. I have to go to the scripts and activate this one. So I will go to the scripts and type activate. Now my virtual environment has been activated. You can here see that the virtual environment has been activated. Now go back to the uh, or did a mistake look like? Oh no, it's fine. Next thing I have to install Django there. I will use pip install Django. Meanwhile, in our EC2 server, the file are being installed. So in our local server, in a virtual environment, we are installing Django. Meanwhile, I would like to pause the video. Django has been installed on our local virtual environment. The next thing I have to create a Django app. For this, I will use two terminologies. One is the main app, another is the sub app. Main app is an overall Django structure, and sub app is like uh, your app in which you are doing something. You can have one main app and multiple sub apps. You can call whatever you want, but I mostly use these terminologies. So that's easy for me. So Django dash admin start project. So your project name is main app and your app name is sub app. And then I will go to the main app folder and I will do python manage.py. Let me show you. In Django, I did a mistake. Instead of installing main app in Django, I installed it in auto directory. So I will just cut it and paste it in this place. And I have to look like close this. Unfortunately, So let's just close this terminal and try again. So I will again activate my environment, cmd, activate, go back to the Django folder, and now if I do dir, I have a file known as main app. So I will go to this file, and in this file if I do ls, I can see that there is a file dot and manage.py. This is the file that's responsible for running the server and doing all the things. So if I do python manage.py run server, you can see that my server is running. If I copy this link and put it in my URL, you can see that my Django server is up and it's running. So just close it using Ctrl plus C, and now it's time to create a sub app. I'm skipping the part of related to the database like user, super user, migration. I'm just skipping all these parts because that's related to the database. Python manage dot py start app, and now we have to name our app. I will call it sub app. So you can see that in our Django folder again made a mistake. I have to create sub app in. Oh, it's fine. It's actually, yeah, it's fine. I will mostly I prefer to copy this file from here and move it back to the main directory, just like this one. So we have Django, our main directory, and in Django we have main app and sub app. These are just my personal choices that help me to remember the things. So the next thing is that I have to go to this file. I will use Sublime Editor, and in Sublime Editor I will go to Open Folder, and then dataset tutorial AWS Django select folder and close this one, previous one. So I have a Django, our main folder, and in our main folder I have two subfolder name as main app and sub app. So I have to, for the first step is to do, I have to go to the settings of my main app, and in the settings I have to do register our newly installed sub app. So this is the step. Next I have to go to the URLs of sub app and attach this URL to the URL of main app. So in sub app, I will create a new file and name it as urls.py. Um, Before doing writing something inside it, I will like to create a page that our browser display in front of us. So I will first create a new folder and name it as templates. So I will just create this file. It should inside our sub app, and in templates I will create a new file that should be named as home.html. So if I have to write anything, let's write hello, how are you, and I want my Django to display hello, how are you in front of me. So for this I have to go to my views.file, Views.file is a main file that is responsible for fetching the response from the server via the URL to our in front of us using that is our home page. So I will use define a function name as home, and in home it will like request return random request comma home dot html, and in this is fine. I'm a bit forgetting the from where the request has been. Just give me a minute. So this is all this. Next, I have to connect this home page with the urls.py of the sub app. From Django dot u urls import path url patterns equal to path, and now I have to name the function which is responsible for displaying the information that is in our home page, that is this function home. Mm, this is all that. The next thing is I have to import this views file, so I will do from dot import views. The next thing I have to register this URLs of this sub app to the URLs of the main app. So I will go to the urls.py of the main app and add a path there. Include app URLs. So next I will go to the view.file, and here I want to write the message like to check that everything is working fine or not. Everything is working. So just save it, and I will go to the home.html, and here just do this like this one. So now I will go to the server and run it again and see which error it gives. It says their name include is not defined, so I will define this in here and run the server again. Meanwhile, these things are being installed. This will take a lot of time. So our server is up and running and I will refresh it. Hello, how are you? Everything is working fine. Uh, Next, the important thing is to the most complicated and something in the beginning is for serve the static file. So I will create a folder name as static folder in sub app and name it as static and save this. In static, I will create a new file and name it as style.css. In style.css, I will like to I would like something to change the color to of a heading. Let's suppose H1 to black. So H1 color, let's put green. So this is now I have to connect this style file with the home.html file. For this, I have to use something like this one. What is that? Yeah, this is the and in title I can Apache, Django, Python tutorial, and in header file I will also like to link my style file like this way. And in body, I would like to have an h1 file and say hello. Let's see what happens if this work or not. So it's not working. The reason for not being working is that our Django setting doesn't know where the static folder is lying. We are just referring that there is a folder named as static, but our system doesn't know where this folder is. So we have to give a path of this folder. You have to give this path in settings.py, and in settings.py at the end I will add static root. Static root is equal to os dot path dot join, and of my base directory. I will just copy this and can paste it to there. Where it is, base directory. Joining my base directory and sub app, that is our app, and in sub app that is static folder. Now let's save this and run our again. Okay, there is something issue. Import OS. Just import OS and run our server again. So you can see that now it's has been turned to green. This thing will take still a lot of time, maybe 2 or 3 hours. So I will wind up this part 1 here, and in the part 2 I will start from the same location.